Hello everyone, very good morning to all of you. Yes, good morning everyone. Happy Sunday to all of you. Am I audible, visible to all of you? Yes, boys and girls. Am I audible, visible to all of you? Yes. Rudra is there, Pooja is there. Yes, Rudra, Pooja. Very good morning to you. Okay, so welcome to the platform of Unacademy, India's largest learning platform. On this platform, we are going to provide you daily live classes, live tests, quiz, structured courses, and unlimited access with one subscription. Yes, I hope all of you downloaded the app. Those who haven't downloaded, please download because special classes and live classes available only on app. Yes, let me introduce to you as those who are new here. My name is Harshvardhan Singh and on this platform I'm going to teach you all the aspects of history including optional, economics and international relations. Currently my lecture series on Indian economy and modern India is going on. I already completed the session of world history and international relations. So those who haven't watched it, please watch it. It is available on our YouTube channel UPSC CSE English as well as it is available on our app. I'm having 9-year experience in the field of civil services as an educator at Delhi, Pune and Nagpur. And those who want to connect with me, they can connect with me. My Telegram channel is at Unacademy underscore Harshv10 or you can connect with me through Unacademy app and address is Harshvardhan Singh for you. These are our top educators. Please do watch the videos. It will be very helpful for you in your preparation. I hope all of you subscribe to Unacademy. Those who haven't taken subscription, please subscribe to Unacademy because your subscription is important for us. Without your subscription, it is not possible for us to present the videos. So please subscribe to Unacademy. We are going to provide you the option of plus as well as iconic. So in plus, we are going to provide you 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 24 and 36 month option. I insist you at least have 1 year subscription and it will cost around 44,550 after using my code HARSHV10. Yes, please use my code because you are going to count as my student. The same way in iconic subscription we are going to provide you for 12 months. It will cost around 62,550, just 62,550 because in iconic subscription we are going to provide you all the aspects of guidance including personal feedback and daily question and answer series. Yes everyone, so use my code here as well. Harshv10 is my code. Use and get the 10% discount. The same way we are going to provide you optional course for 12 months. It will cost around 24,750. Yes, just 24,750. These are the batches. Tomorrow we are going to launch for 1 year, 2 year and weekend batches, NCRT batches, expert batches. So all these are for you. So please join these batches. It is available in English, Hindi and bilingual. Yes, today is the last day. That is 31st. Price hike is there. Before it's too late, have it. Yes, and we are going to provide you combo offer as well. In the combo, iconic subscription of GS plus optional, it will cost around 88,705 and 70,103 for plus subscription GS as well as optional and use my code HARSHV10. These are my special classes available on only on app. Go watch it and please join for the next session because here we are not just going to discuss the subject. Here we are going to discuss the other aspects of civil services preparation, that is means answer writing, how to create the structure. We are going to discuss the MCQs, what type of mistake you have to avoid and the strategy. So all other aspects of preparation related to preparation we are going to discuss here. Yes everyone, so welcome once again. Good morning. How many people are there? Pooja, Rudra, Nilesh, PK, Uma. Yes, good morning. So today we are going to discuss the social reform movements in India. Yes, this topic is most neglected topic in civil services preparation. Along with that, most of you mug up the things. But do you know one thing? This topic is important from mains point of view, and generally nowadays questions are asking from this particular topic related to social reform movement. And our problem is that when we have studied this topic, we always study this topic from prelims point of view, means fact. We focused mostly on the factual portion. We never focused on the other analytical portion of it. So today we are going to focus on the analytical aspect, and I'm going to tell you few aspects related to facts, because facts are written exactly in book and I do not want to reread. Yes, I'm saying I do not want to reread it for you. I'm here to help you, so that's why today's session is quite different for social reform movement which you have me attended in previous sessions or anywhere. Yes, boys and girls, so are you ready for it? Are you ready? Good. Okay. So the Indian social reform movements were basically divided into two movements. One is basically religious movement, that is religious reform movement, and another movement is caste movement, that is caste reform movement. Religious and caste reform movement. Religious movements were basically related to reforms in religion, and the most important movement in this, Brahmo Samaj. Yes, reforms in evil practices prevailed in religion, and particularly, yes, there are other religions also included in that, but in particular Hinduism. And the caste movement, this caste movement was basically an evil practice which was prevalent that time, today, and it will present in future. Why it was so? Because we learn the things. We are considered ourselves as an educated one, but still we follow the practice of casteism. In India, it is a very common practice, though through education we improve a lot, but still the problem is there. Yes, the problem is there, and there are many people in India still facing the caste discrimination, and this caste is basically based on birth. Clear? And this practice was an evil practice, is evil practice, and will remain there until you are going to change. If you want to change the society, then first you have to change yourself. But I know, I am damn sure most of the Indians are not going to change. Clear? So this caste movement or caste reform movement was having more important, and one of the most representative example is Satya Samaj. It is a representative example of caste reform movement in India, and in social religious movement a most important example is Brahmo Samaj. So this division of the social reform movements in India, one is based on religious reforms, another is based on caste reforms. Yes, everyone, is that clear to you? Is that clear to you? Any reaction from your side? क्या आपकी तरफ से भी कोई प्रतिक्रिया आ सकती है? Yes, is that clear? Social reform movements, division into two. Clear? Yes, Nan, good morning. Today you came late. Yes. Yes. Okay. Yes, Madhu Kumari. Good, 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 good. You are also there. Good. Now, factors responsible for it. That is, factors responsible for rise of socio-religious movement. Rise of socio-religious reform movement. And yes, I kept this slide as a blank for you because I want to know the factors responsible for it from your side. And yes, remember everything. This is an interactive session. That's why question and answer is a regular format for it. And I'm expecting the answer from you. What I said, I am expecting the answer from you, and answer doesn't mean right or wrong. I just want I to know the ideas from you. Clear? Yes, everyone. So what do you think? What are the factors responsible for socio-religious movement? And we are going to verify. Yes, whatever the points you're going to mention, I'm going to write it down. And in the next slide, we are going to check whether these factors are there or some misinformation you are having. Yes, Madhu, Pooja, Rudra, Neha, PK, Nayan, Nilesh, for you. Tell me the factors responsible for socio-religious reform movement. One by one, whatever the factors you are going to mention, I'm going to write here. Don't worry. Neha said social condition were equally depressing. Okay. Depressing social condition. Okay. Next. Neha, have you read the question carefully? Question is factors responsible for socio-religious reform movement. Position of women was worst since ancient times. Since ancient time, after and particularly after Manusmriti. So can we consider the position of women was responsible, or can we consider it as a factor for this movement? Yes, PK said the caste problem. Okay. Nayan said Western education. And liberal ideas. Can we say the presence of social evils like like yes, sati, child marriages, then untouchabilities? Yes, yes, PK, we already included the point Western education and liberal ideas. Yes, go on. Why you're thinking so much? Just go and say it. Maybe if you are completely wrong, then I'm going to say no. We have to stop. First, depressing social condition. Okay, caste problem, Western education. Neha, system of segregation of hierarchy order. Okay, can we? Yes, Pooja, it is included in the social evils. And polygamy was the practice prevailed for a long time. It is prevailed till the independence of India, and after independence of India, when India introduced the Hindu Code Bill in the different format and they ended the practice of polygamy. Yes, Neha's point is logical. System of segregation of hierarchical order. So can we consider, yes, hierarchical order, or we can say division of society. Okay. Next. Yes, come on everyone. फटाफट बताओ भाई. 5 पॉइंट तो बता दिए, बस 2 और बता देना. बस 2 और. Just 2 more points. Yes, boys and girls, do you think so it is too hard, too difficult for you? And whenever I'm going to explain these points, your situation and your reaction is like, what? I knew it, but still I was not in a position to recollect it. So it should not be the case. So that's why I'm giving chance. Yes, 2 more points. Other than this, is there any other point? Yes, everyone. 2 more points. Just 2 more. Anything related to the boycotting imported products. What? Are you serious speaking? This question is not at all related to what you have said. This question is basically factors responsible for socio-religious reform movement. Yes, everyone. Shall I explain? Yes, everyone. Shall I explain this? Okay. Time's up. Okay. Factors responsible for socio-religious reform movement. First, British rule. British rule exposed Indian masses to Western culture and ideology. Yes, British rule exposed the Indian masses to Western culture and Western ideology. It is an important to develop. It is an important to develop critical approach towards the existing situation. It is an important to develop critical approach towards existing situation because these Western culture is basically based on the idea of liberty, equality, fraternity. Yes, these are the basic idea this Western education provided: the equality among the all, liberty, freedom, fraternity. So these ideas were most important. These ideas were most important, and because of the British rule, Indian get chance to learn this idea, and because of these idea, it developed a critical approach towards the existing situation. Yes, everyone. Don't you think so? It is a case that, let's take your example. As I considered you as a rational, as I considered you as an educated person. So when you learn the ideas of liberty, equality, fraternity, can you accept the dominance of one society or dominance of one person over other in your life? Can you compromise with the concept of equality in your life? Can you consider one person is inferior and one person is superior? Can you? Yes, everyone, I ask you this question. यस, क्या आप लोग ये स्वीकार करेंगे कि नहीं, कोई जो है वो कमजोर रहे, कोई ताकतवर रहे? क्या आप स्त्री पुरुषों में अंतर करना सीखेंगे या उसे बढ़ावा देंगे इन योर लाइफ? क्या आप गुलाम बन के रहना पसंद करोगे? ऑफ कोर्स नॉट. So what happened, these western educated Indians, they learned this idea, and when they saw the Indian society, they started thinking over it. Earlier they were the part of this society, they lived there, but they never had such a vision. But now they had this vision. Okay, this is the problem in my society, this is wrong, that is discrimination of one person from other is wrong. Yes, discrimination. You are not considering one person based on the caste as a human. That's the problem. So, this is the point. British rule exposed the Indian masses to Western culture and ideology, and it became important to develop a critical approach towards the existing situation. And what is critical? Critical, it doesn't mean criticism only. Critical means based on neutrality. You're going to watch the society with the naked eyes. That is the critical approach, and this approach was developed among the Indians. Now, Indians can see the discrimination prevalent in our society with the naked eyes. Clear? So, this is the first factor responsible for it, that is Western culture and ideology, exposed to Western culture and ideology. Second, reform movements conceived as a response to challenges posed by colonial rules. How? Reform movements conceived as a factor or conceived as a response to challenge posed by colonial rule. How? How it is so? Yes, boys and girls, what do you think? How it is so? Yes, how it is so? How we can consider that is, this is the factor, that is response. They considered these reform movements are conceived as a response to challenges posed by colonial rule. How colonial rule posed challenge? Very simple, boys and girls. It's very simple. When Britishers established their rule, Britishers started imposing their culture. Along with, they are going to show the loopholes in Indian society. And the third thing, they claim that they are superior with respect to Indians. Clear? This is the problem. When Britishers established their rule, they have discriminated Indians. How? They said that we are white, we are a civilian. Yes, do you remember that? They said that we are on civilizing mission. and they considered themselves civilian. That means they considered you and me as a barbaric. Clear? So this is the attitude of British when they established a rule, that is their attitude of superiority complex was basically one of the reasons that social reform movement started in India, just to respond it, just to tell them that you are civilians. Just now after Renaissance, India is having a legacy since thousands of years. We are civilized. It is a reaction, basically a response to challenge posed by colonial rule. Is that clear? Yes, first and second point is clear to all of you. How these reform movement convince as a response to challenge posed by colonial rule. Clear? Yes, boys and girls, is that clear? Next, role of Christian missionaries. What kind of role of Christian missionaries? As yesterday only, or sorry, day before yesterday, we discussed about the Act. And in the Act of 1813, we mentioned that Christian missionaries given free hand. Now, the British government gave official support to Christian missionaries to propagate the idea of Christianity. Now, these Christian missionaries, through their various aspects, trying to promote Christianity, and one aspect was basically to show the loopholes in Indian religion. And the most important loophole in Indian religion is basically discrimination based on caste. Then another discrimination is based on untouchability. And Christianity, this Christianity doesn't believe in discrimination. Christianity doesn't believe in untouchability. Christianity believes in equality. When they presented this idea, so basically it was a reaction from Indians that you are intervening in our religious life. You're showing us inferior through your religion. Clear? So now, as Indians were intelligentsia, they started developing a critical approach, and they considered spreading of Christian missionaries, Christian ideas basically posed challenge to their religious ideas. Even most of the time, as it was a period of madness, today is also there, it was a period of madness. That time, these missionaries used to tell that their religion is far better than your religion. Means in the today's meme, we can consider Indians' reaction over the Christian missionary like Todda religion, Sadde religion mein khamiyan. Clear? It was their reaction. Okay, we accept that we have the problems, but but the idea of religion is noble. We can remove the problem. And why Christian missionaries were doing so? Because you know what, when Britishers established their rule, they first did the same thing, that is translation of books into English. Yes, am I right or wrong? They translated most of the Indian religious books into not just religious book, along with that law books into English. And then they realize that there are many problems in Indian society, as there is no equal punishment for all. The punishment is given to the upper caste is different, punishment is given to lower caste is different, and punishment given to untouchable is different. So the problem is there, and that's why they considered this is the right opportunity to spread their ideas. And as the Christian missionaries started their missionary work, and it was a reaction from Indians. Yes, everyone, is that clear to you? Is that clear to you? That is how role of Christian missionaries and reaction from Indians is one of the factor responsible for it. Yes, everyone, is that clear? The 3 points are clear. The third point, basically, we talked about the role of Christian missionaries and reaction from Indians. Next important thing, these reform movements rose an expression of cultural defense. Yes, everyone, this is an important. These reform movements rose an expression of cultural defense, that is, Indians are defending their culture. When Britishers pose this challenge that your culture is inferior, you have so many problems in your culture, you are a barbaric in nature, so it was a basically nationalist reaction to defense the culture, and it was a reaction. Yes, it was a reaction from our side. Yes, everyone? Clear? This reform movement was an expression of cultural defense. Cultural defense. Next, and you know what? There are many Indians started learning the things, presenting the idea, criticizing the orthodoxy. Yes, why it is so? Just to protect their identity, cultural identity. Clear? Next, Indian intelligentsia has a desire. Yes, this is also important point. Indian intelligentsia has a desire to create new India and free from social evils. And what kind of social evils present? As we have mentioned lots of time, untouchability is one of them. Rigid caste system is another them. Along with that, society based on inequality and gender is one of the factors. Clear? Yes, everyone, is that clear to you? So I hope these factors are clear. That is factors responsible for growth or rise of social reform movement is clear to you, and we have mentioned. And you know what? This point you mentioned earlier. Next point, this point you mentioned. Clear? But these points were missing from your answer 1, 2 and 3. Don't you think so? These points are very well known to you. ये आप सभी लोगों को पता थे, लेकिन आप यहाँ पे बयान न कर पाए. Clear? Yes, everyone. Is that clear to you? Okay. Next thing is nature or character of socio-religious movement. So I want answer from you. What do you think? What were the nature or what were the character of socio-religious reform movement? क्या लगता है क्या नेचर होगा उसका? Yes, everyone, I'm waiting for your answer. Nature or character of Indian socio-religious reform movement. First point, second point, third point, fourth point, fifth point. Yes, boys and girls, what do you think? And I'm expecting the answer from you because you know the answer. Without study, yes everyone, बिना पढ़े भी आप जवाब दे सकते हो क्योंकि उतनी आपकी तैयारी है. Okay, Neha said humanist. Humanist was it. Okay, good. Based on equality. Yes, Neha, equality is a concept. Umbrella term is there. Humanist, yes. Equality, okay. Go on. Yes, boys and girls, go on. Third point. किस तरीके से हो सकती है ये मूवमेंट? Opposed to caste system, changes in social and religious evil. Puja, yes, puja, exactly. Rational outlook. Rudra mentioned the nature is against against the social evils, social practices, social evils. Okay. Yes, against the social practices, social evils, including superstition. And you know what? Superstitions are still prevalent in India, and we have lots of examples. Good omen, bad omen, black is avoided in marriages. You know what? Black, generally people do not want to use black color in marriages because it is considered as a bad omen. And a very interesting fact is that most of the Indians are having black hairs. Rudra, promotion of morality and virtues. भाई साहब समझ नहीं रहे हो आप? पूछा है नेचर एंड कैरेक्टर. नेचर, ह्यूमनिस्ट ये नेचर होता है, इक्वालिटी ये कैरेक्टर होता है, रैशनल आउटलुक ये कैरेक्टर है. जो आपने कहा वो नहीं है. एस्थेटिक व्यूज. नो. यस एवरीवन. ह्यूमनिस्ट, इक्वालिटी. BK, abolition of sati is considered as an example or expression of this movement, socio-religious reform movement. We cannot consider it as a nature. First, try to understand the nature. यानी जिन लोगों को yes Gopika betterment of position of women. Let me tell you with a very simple example so that you will get to know the meaning of nature. यानी मैं यदि ऐसा ये सपोज आप है, ये सपोज आप हो और किसी ने पूछा कि टेल मी द नेचर, योर नेचर, यानी हम अमूमन क्या कहते हैं, स्वभाव. टेल मी योर नेचर, आपका स्वभाव बताइए. सो कैन यू गोइंग टू मेंशन दैट यू आर फेयर, you are tall, yes, your education, yes everyone. A very basic question to all of you, a very basic question. if anybody asks you about your nature, what you're going to tell? कि मैं लंबा हूँ, मैं गोरा हूँ, मैं पढ़ा लिखा हूँ. No. Now get it. That is the problem. Means most of you are giving the answer in that manner, which is not expected from you. This is not considered as a nature. Nature in general. You're humble in nature, polite in nature. Yes, these are the aspects. Yes, simple in nature, kind in nature. That is nature. Cruel in nature, greedy in nature. Clear? That is nature. So please try to understand in that manner. So whatever you are going to say, these are not the nature. Yes, other than this, whatever the points you said, it is not the case. Gopika, it is the what we can say expression of socio-religious reform movement, that is betterment of position of women. Now I hope I am in position to explain what nature is and what is expected from you. So this is not considered as a part of nature. Clear? Against social practices. Okay. Along with that, rational outlook, modernization. Can we consider the nature of this social reform movements democratic? Yes, boys and girls. Can we consider the nature as a democratic, whether these social reform movements were democratic? Okay. Can we consider? Maybe we can consider. Yes, I hope you understood very well. And now I'm going to explain. So points are clear. Which points you have mentioned, it is clear to you. Now it is there. How can you forget that the first most important thing, the first thing that is liberal and progressive. These reform movements were liberal and progressive in nature. How can we consider it is a progressive in nature? Because they are talking about LEF, that is liberty, equality, fraternity. Freedom to all, equality to all, fraternity among the society. Second nature, egalitarian. Egalitarian and very most important aspect, it emphasizes on equality of mankind. Means if you are a person belongs to Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Christian or anything, we all are equal. If you are a person in this strata, a different strata is there, still we are equal. Equality of mankind. If you are a person of male or women, it is the same. Clear? Yes, everyone. Can we consider it? Nature, liberal, progressive, egalitarian. Third, democratic in nature. Is it so? Yes. How can we consider democratic in nature? Yes, how can we consider it? Because members were from all the section of society. Clear? Next important thing, no hierarchy. Next, not based on birth. Clear? Clear? Next, open for all. Next, acceptance of views, including voice of dissent. So can we consider they are in democratic structure or their nature is democratic? Yes, of course their nature was democratic. Clear? Yes, is that clear? Means take example of Brahmo Samaj. Whether the Brahmo Samaj is limited for one particular section? No. Whether the idea of Brahmo Samaj is limited to one particular section? Not there. Along with that, yes, along with that, the ideas presented is applicable to all. So that is a democratic in nature. It is not the case the son of Rajaram Mohan Rai is going to be head of it. It is not the case. There are many people contributed in Brahmo Samaj, and very best example Rajaram Mohan Rai, of course, Devendranath Tagore, Dwijendranath Tagore, yes, later on T.C. Sen, clear. Asylim, asim, assimilatory in nature. Assimilatory in nature means acceptance of all ideas. Means it is not the case. They were not mad. They were not having prejudice. They are ready to accept new ideas, whether that idea is from West, whether the idea is from East, or whether the ideas are from ancient text. But they are ready to accept good ideas only. Yes, everyone? Assimilatory in nature means acceptance of all good ideas, whether the good idea is from West, East, or ancient texts, they are ready to accept. It is not, they are not mad, they are not blind, that they never oppose the all ideas from West, or they never support the all ideas from East. Why? Because they belong to it. No, that is the nature. Openness was there. Can we consider it as a nature? Yes. Openness, assimilatory in nature. Clear? Yes, boys and girls, is that clear to you? Is that clear to you? So what kind of new ideas they adopted from West? We already mentioned LEF is always there. The second most idea is basically equality between male and female. Most important aspect. Assimilatory in nature, openness. These social reform, religious reform movements were open. You know what? The very best example is Rajaram Mohan Rai. Rajaram Mohan Rai accepted some principles from Bible. Yes, he promoted monotheism. Do you remember? He supported monotheism. Yes, it is the one of the aspects. So we are ready. These social reform movements are ready to accept the ideas from East and West. Clear? Okay. Next. It is an effort to create new society free from social evils. Yes, you have mentioned. Yes, this point you have mentioned. Means the nature or the character is basically it is an effort to create society, new society which is free from social evils. Social evils we have mentioned. You know, the one of the worst social evils, untouchability is there, but related to the women, and that is widowhood. It was the worst case. Yes, it was the worst case present in India at that time. Widowhood is considered as a bad, and the treatment given to women in Indian society is the worst. And I'm really thankful to these social reformers. They stood against the wrong and they abolished it. They ended this madness. evil practices. Untouchability was one, widowhood was another. The condition of women was the worst. So it is a character, that is, it efforts to create new society and free from social evil. Next, emphasis on peaceful coexistence and tolerance. Nowadays, these words are very offensive in nature for the people in India. Am I right? Yes, boys and girls. Peaceful coexistence and tolerance. These are the two important aspects of socio-religious reform movement. Means they doesn't emphasize that Hinduism is superior. They emphasize on all Indians are living peaceful coexistence and tolerance is an important aspect. Yes, means they accepted the principle of Bible, they accepted the principle of Quran, they accepted the principle of Gita, they accepted the principle of other religious books as well. Peaceful coexistence means all, means different religious person, different ethnic person, and different nationalist person can stay together, and that's their emphasis. Clear? Peaceful coexistence and tolerance is one of the important nature of this moment, and nowadays in India these two words are very basic. Means when you are talking about tolerance, or when you're putting a question mark, that nowadays we are facing lots of challenges towards the tolerance, towards the, and people are going to start bashing you through trolling. Next, non-violent in nature. How? Yes, boys and girls, how it is a non-violent in nature. बताइए, आप लोग, आपको से सवाल पूछा है, बहुत ही आसान सवाल है। कल ही हमारे जो देश के राष्ट्रपिता थे, जो हमेशा नॉन वायलेंस की बात करते थे, अहिंसा की बात करते थे, और आप उस देश के बाशिंदे हो, तो आपसे पूछा गया सवाल नॉन वायलेंट, हाउ दिस मोमेंट वाज नॉन वायलेंट इन नेचर. Yes, everyone. I'm waiting for your answers. Yes, I'm expecting the answer from your side. And I'm waiting for it. Hmm. बताइए. It did not include violence. Wah. Wah. क्या बात. Me. Non-violence is means not including violence. क्या? कुछ. Yes, of course. It carried out peacefully. But I'm not expecting that thing. I'm expecting how it is having a non-violent in nature. So basically, a most important thing of this non-violence is introduce changes. As you know, changes introduced in two ways. Yes, changes. If you want to change the society, changes are included in the two type. One is a radical changes by violence, bloodshed. Another is a peaceful. So how they want to introduce the changes through non-violent ways, means introduce the changes creating without creating anarchy. So how they can introduce the changes by pursuing the people. Next, not by force. Yes, exactly. These changes, yes, Rudra, these changes introduced based on education, based on awareness. Clear? The non-violent, because violently, that is French Revolution, is the best example of changes through violent means. But in India, the social religious reform movement is non-violent in nature because it is not forceful. It is not forceful. It is a willful that they want to pursue the people to drop the whatever the misconceptions they are having, whatever the prejudices they are having, they want to drop it by pursuing them. Clear? So this is the non-violent way to introduce the reforms in India. Yes, everyone, and non-violent is the best option for everyone. Yes, Gandhi supported this idea, and nowadays people are supporting this idea. Next, philosophy of humanist or humanism is dominated. Yes, I remember one of you mentioned about this humanism. Humanism is basically means betterment of all. Means whatever the social reforms were there, it is not stick to one particular section of the society. It is for all religion or linguistic group, all nationalist or national personalities. It is open for all. It doesn't have gender bias as well. Open. So, welfare of all is a concept dominating in this reform. So that's why we can consider the philosophy of humanism is dominating in nature. This is the nature. Next, composite in nature. This reform movement, composite in nature. What kind of composition? Is basically social, nationalist, political. Yes, this movement is composite in nature. It consists of various aspects. That is, social aspect is included. Nationalism is nationalist aspect is included. Political aspect is also included. Yes, everyone, that is the nature. And nationalist outlook is visible in it. What kind of nationalist approach was there? What kind of nationalist? By removing social evils. By removing social evils, they want to create unity and create unity among Indians, and which is important to fight. Yes, everyone, nationalist outlook is clear. First, they want to remove the social evil, then by after removing of these social events, people will become equal, and this equality strengthen the concept of unity, and unified people are going to stand against the colonial rule. So this is the nationalist outlook of it. And the last thing, last character is basically it represents Indian Renaissance, that is revival of old structure, old ideas, which is based on equality, which is not based on discrimination. Yes, everyone. So all these points are clear to you. Yes, there are many people joined with me. So whether this point is clear to all of you, or still you have a question. Nature is clear. The points of nature is very basic, liberal, progressive, egalitarian, democratic, assimilatory in nature, efforts to create new society, freedom from social evil, emphasis on peaceful coexistence and tolerance, Non-violent philosophy of humanism is there. It is composite in nature, nationalist in outlook, and it represents the Indian Renaissance. Clear? No question, no doubt, nothing. If you have doubt, you can ask the question. Don't worry. And I'm here to answer your question. Next, what do you think the objectives of this social reform movement? Yes, everyone, what do you think? What were the objectives of socio-religious reform movement? क्या लगता है आपको क्या ऑब्जेक्टिव हो सकते हैं? यस बताइए आप लोगों के लिए है आपसे ही पूछा है सवाल पीके said to change the thinking of the people in the society. Okay, change the mentality of masses. Okay, Rudra said women education. Third, Nilesh said abolition of evil practices. Fourth, unity for better livelihood. Fifth, yes, everyone, go on, go on, go on, go on. Whatever you are going to mention, I'm going to write here. Change in the mentality of masses, women education, abolition of evil practices, unity for the better livelihood. Or yes, everyone, what do you think? That's it? Yes, that's it only. Okay, so you have mentioned these 4 points. Let's see whether these 4 points are there or not. Next, the socio-religious reform movements having two main objectives. Two main objectives. And these objectives were first, women, emancipation of women. This is the most important aspect because the 50% of population in India was in worst condition, that is women population was in worst condition, the denial of their basic rights, that is as a human their right was denied. Second, gender inequality was there. Third, child marriages were prevalent. Fourth, condition of women was worse. So basically, rules and regulation of the society is basically against the women, and that's why women were suffering from these things. So the two main important objective of socio-religious reform movement, and first among that is emancipation of women. And how women are going to get emancipation? By extension of equal rights to them. Emancipation of women, how? By extension of equal rights to them, just like male. Second important, removal of caste rigidities. So first is emancipation of women, and second is removal of caste rigidity, because caste is the basis through which evil practices are prevalent in India, and in that particularly untouchability. Untouchability is an inhuman practice followed by Indians for thousands of years. Yes, and we have to accept it as it is. We cannot deny. If you're going to deny the historical fact, then the problem is with you. You are not ready to accept the mistake. And remember one thing, as you are an educated one, you are a rational one, I suppose you all are having that. So I am mentioning this thing for you, that if you're not going to accept the mistake, then you are not going to introduce any changes. Yes, in your life as well. First, accept the fact that you did the mistake, and when you accept this mistake, you are going to ratify the mistake. Clear? But most of the Indians are having this problem. They are not accepting their dark past. Clear? So the two main objectives of socio-religious reform movement were basically emancipation of women, and how? By extension of equal rights to them, and second, removal of caste rigidity. And caste rigidities are having many aspects, and one particular thing is untouchability. Next, impact of socio-religious reform movement. So what do you think impact of socio-religious reform movement? Yes, boys and girls, this is for you. हाँ देवी और सज्जनों ये आपके लिए है. When I use the word like Amitabh Bachchan, देवी और सज्जनों, most of the people thinking that देवियों, oh देवियों, सज्जनों, boys are like laughing, सज्जन और हम. No, no, it is the way to give respect in Hindi. Yes, boys and girls, please tell me the impact of socio-religious reform movement. Yes, Rudra said increase in social awareness. Okay, social awareness increases. Nilesh said women gets rights. Okay, women gets equal rights. Okay, go on. Yes, go on. Okay, religious reforms introduced. Hmm. Education for all. बताओ बताओ. हम्म. चार. सिर्फ चार हुए, सिर्फ चार. चार पॉइंट लिखोगे ना तो भाई साहब एक मार्क मिलेगा या दो मार्क मिलेंगे. दिस इज वेरी वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन. And I always tell you this thing, when the question is impact, there is no need of specialized knowledge. With your common sense you can answer. Anti-slavery. Okay. Hmm. बताओ बताओ, आप जो भी बताओगे लिख लेंगे हम यहाँ. Yes, boys and girls. Don't you think it's very simple question? रुद्रा, आर यू सीरियस? नहीं, कौन से दुनिया में हो आप? Create new society based on scientific approach. We are present right now, and still we fail to establish a society based on scientific approach. If it was so, then don't you think so? Right now, the priorities are not defined. If our society is based on scientific approach, so why in Indian society many girls are facing the problem because of one particular aspect related to astrology? मंगल है भाई, इसकी कुंडली में मंगल है, उसकी कुंडली में शनि है, कुछ भी है भाई साहब, कुछ भी बताओगे? नहीं नहीं, अरे आप विश्वगुरु बनना बाकी है, बनने के बाद हो जाएगा ये सब कुछ. Yes, everyone, social awareness. Okay, women gets right, social. और कुछ? Why it is so difficult for you? I'm really surprised. Yes, I'm really surprised that you are not in a position to answer it, and there is a need to introspect. Provided the value base for new constitution, equality, freedom. No, 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 no. It is there. It is after that. After a long time, it was there. Very simple. Yes, Anju. Very simple. First, impact. Yes, pay attention, everyone. Impact to some extent. To some extent, change in the attitude of people towards social evils. Means when this, and you are considering in present context, we are considering at that time what was the impact of that, and whether that impact is continued or not. It is in elements of continuity. What was the impact? To some extent, the change in attitude of people towards social evil. Yes, because these movements create some changes in Indian society. And what kind of changes we are going to mention? Of course, the impact, the very best example later on, abolition of sati. These are the examples. Yes, these are the example. Abolition of sati, widow remarriages, then then child marriages, means prohibition on child marriages, etc. There are many things. So basically, to some extent, the change in attitude in of the people towards social evils. But still at present also these attitudes are present in India. And if you said no, there is no such thing present in India, that means either you are blind or you don't want to see. Clear? So that's why the word is to some extent it was there. There are few intelligentsia, they started thinking on rational line. Clear? The first point is clear to you? Yes, everyone. First point is clear. अरे भाई कुछ तो जवाब दो, हाँ ना, कुछ तो. Good. Next, reform movements revitalized. Yes, reform movement revitalized socio-religious life and infuse new energy in Indian society. Means what happened that now people are going to discuss the basic teaching of religion. Yes, the basic teachings of religion are now going to discuss. Along with that, removal of some evil practices which was imposed by some religious text and all, they are basically sidelined it and they are focusing on the basic aspect. Yes, the monotheism is a many best example. Ekeshwarvad, that is Rajaram Mohan Rai, was promoting this idea of monotheism. So this is the revitalization of socio-religious life and infusing new energy into Indian society, that we started acceptance of our evil practices and we are trying to remove that. That is important. Next, prepared ground. Prepared ground for growth of Indian nationalism. How? Yes, everyone. How it prepared the ground for growth of Indian nationalism. किस तरीके से आपको लगता है कि भारतीय जो राष्ट्रवाद था उस राष्ट्रवाद की शुरुआत या उस राष्ट्रवाद की पृष्ठभूमि बनाने का काम इन्होंने किया? Yes, what do you think? How it is going to prepare the ground for growth of Indian nationalism? Yes, everyone, you are supposed to answer this question. पॉइंट रटना बहुत आसान होता है लेकिन समझना एक ही बार मुश्किल होता है. बट वंस यू अंडरस्टूड what exactly this point is, then there is no need to mug up the thing. PK said because all factors were overcome. No, all factors were not overcome yet. As I have mentioned earlier also, what I mentioned, the most important factor, which one? Removal of social evil leads to unity and stood against anti-colonialism or stood against the colonialism. Simple. So how it prepared the ground? First, all the barriers were present in India. It was basically shattered because of this social religious movement. A environment based on equality was started building in nature, and this intelligentsia started that revival of nationalism, proud of national feeling, and anti-colonial sentiments is emerged out of it. Clear? Next, growth of Western education. Yes, it is a very common thing, and this Western education is from the government side, from the missionaries, and various Indians also played an important role in that. Various introduced Indians also started the schools to provide the Western education which is based on scientific temperament. That is most important aspect. This is the most important impact of it. Growth of Western education, because Western education is considered as a rational and considered as a future. Next, growth of literature. Yes, of course. What kind of literature? Books, paper, journals, etc. Because these early nationalists, that is socio-religious reform movement leaders, they propagate the ideas through books, paper, journals, and others. This is the way they promoted the literature, and that leads to the growth of literature. Because of their writings, it happened. So it is the impact of socio-religious reform movement. Next, rise of vernacular press. Yes, this is the most important aspect. Rise of vernacular press, and very best example is Sammat Kaumudini. Sammat Kaumudi. What exactly it is? Yes, it is a factual question. Sammat Kaumudi. It is a factual question. Tell me what exactly this is. Yes, PK. Now I got it, your point. Because of all the factors were overcome, which were affecting the moment. Okay. Yes, Samvat Kaumudi. क्या था ये? क्या ये किताब थी? क्या ये अखबार था? या ये किसी सभा का नाम है? Yes, everyone. Samvat Kaumudi. What do you think? What exactly this Samvat Kaumudi was? Was it a paper? Was it a journal? Was it a book? Was it an essay? Yes, Anuja. Anuja said by Rajaram Mohan Roy. Okay. PK said newspaper. First of all, boys and girls, how can you forget this thing? The word is rise of vernacular phrase. So basically, it is related to vernacular. Yes, Rudra, vernacular. Which language? Bengali. It is in Bengali. What exactly it was? It is newspaper. And who was the founder of it? Of course, Triple R, Rajaram Mohan Roy. Clear? One more thing is there. Growth of Mirat ul Akhbar. Mirat ul Akhbar. This is also a paper launched by Rajaram Mohan Roy, and this paper is basically in Persian language. So Persian is also vernacular language. It was the official court language of Mughals, and in Bengal, successor of Mughal states were there. No, it is in Persian. It is in Persian. The successor of Mughals were there in Bengal, and they also adopted this tradition of Persian language. So Rajaram Mohan Roy was well versed in Persian language as well. Clear? Yes, so this is the way, and there were many papers launched during the same time. I mentioned few of them. Next important, they persuaded the government to introduce and enact the laws to end the social evil practices. Yes, it is true, and very best example, they persuaded government to and enact laws to end these social practices. So can you mention the example of which laws presented by them, or they force these social reform movements force government to introduce some law? क्या आप लोगों को पता है ऐसे कोई कानून बनाए थे अंग्रेजों ने, और जो कानून किससे प्रभावित थे? हमारे यहाँ पे सामाजिक और धार्मिक जो भी आंदोलन चल रहा था, बदलाव का जो आंदोलन चल रहा था, उसकी वजह से कुछ कानून बने भारत में। तो क्या आप लोगों को उनके नाम याद है? Yes, everyone, do you remember the name? क्या बात कर रहे हो? How much time you take to respond? Yes, a very basic. How can you consider? Yes, abolition of sati means any common man can answer this question during the time of Benting and on the insist of Raja Ram Mohan Rai. It was their abolition of sati. Yes, next is Widow Remarriage Act. Widow Remarriage Act is of course during the time of Dalhousie. And who insisted that? Who insisted that? Yes, Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar. Yes, age of consent. Age of Consent Act. So these are the very best example of it. These are the very best example of it, and everybody knew about it. Clear? Yes, along with that, abolition of slavery is also there. So there are many examples. I am just giving 3-4 examples. There are many. I'm really agree with whatever the points you're going to mention. I agree with that. But these are those points which are important and everybody knew about it. Clear? Yes, everyone. Is that clear? The impact we have mentioned. Impact very simple. To some extent, change in the attitude. Second, these reform movements revitalized the socio-religious life and infused new energy to Indian life, prepared the ground for growth of Indian nationalism, growth of Western education, growth of literature, rise of vernacular press, and the last important point, persuaded the government to introduce and enact the laws which is going to end the social evil. Yes, everyone? Next, now the limitation is another aspect. अब ठीक है भाई साहब, आपने कोई भी क्वेश्चन लिख लिया तो उसके अलग अलग पहलू भी है। तो पहला हमने लिखा कि फैक्टर्स रिस्पॉन्सिबल, सेकंड नेचर और कैरेक्टर, थर्ड वी मेंशन impact. Now it is a fourth point, limitation. What do you think? What were the limitation of socio-religious reform movements in India? Very simple, very simple. Very simple. So I'm expecting the limitation. What do you think that these social reform movements were having limitation? Yes, boys and girls, and we are ready for your reply. 3, 4, 5. कम से कम 5 बताना है हमें. Rudra said it creates the conflict between the religion. As Rudra you have mentioned, then you can give me the example as well. You said conflict among the religion developed because of these reform movements. So please tell me the example. Yes, other than that, इसके अलावा भी आपको कोई लिमिटेशन दिखाई दे रहा है? And remember one thing, every movement is having limitation. It is not the case that everything is going well, everything is positive. Some limitations should be there. अरे बताओ भाई साहब. Yes, girl section. Why you're not responding? It's very simple. और मैं बता दूंगा ना तो आप लोग नाराज हो जाओगे. आप लोग कहोगे क्या सर इतनी जल्दी बता दिया, हमें तो पता था. Interference in religious practices. Yes everyone. अरे भाई साहब, बाकी लोग भी तो हो. It's limited only at high class and middle classes. What about others? सो गए क्या? Yes everyone, I hope all of you had a very heavy breakfast as Sunday is there and most of you or most of your parents in most Indian homes special breakfast is there. I know you had the loaded with the breakfast, but still you're attending the class. That's why I'm asking the question. Yes, Anuja, what Anuja said, many movements were based on religious revivalism. Okay, so can we consider it as a limitation? Religious revivalism. Okay, next. नहीं हम बता देंगे तो आप पछताओगे फिर. आप कहोगे क्या थोड़ी देर रुक गए होगे तो हमें पता था. You know that in examination also there are many things which you know but still you are not able to write it because time is most important, and here also it is the same case. Time is important. You know things, it's okay. And a very best example I just want to tell you, without having too much study, normal person can answer it. छोड़ो हम ही बता देते क्या आप लोगों को कष्ट देना अच्छा नहीं लग रहा हमें. It led to communalism in latter period. No, it is not the case. The beginning of communalism was not related to it. Yes, everyone, please take note of it. Yes, Anuja, please take a note of it. The beginning of communal movement is not at all related with this aspect. It is totally different and we have discussed in the beginning. And yes, in the coming lectures, I'm going to tell you the beginning of communalism movement. Yes, after national movement, we are going to take the topic communalism so that you will get the exact answer for it. Yes, PK, that's right. It is limited to some portion or some masses. Yes, everyone. The first point is lack of mass consciousness as the impact restricted to educated elite only. Means this socio-religious reform movements were having limited impact over the people, means limited people affected by this idea, that most of the people are not having influence of this movement. And why it is so? Why it is so? It is because only educated elite convinced with the idea. Those who are not educated, they are having critical attitude approach towards this movement. And that is the problem, because this social religious reform movement was basically for all. It is not for one particular section of the society. But yes, its impact is limited to the elite one, enlightened one. And the mass base is unaffected because of it. That is the first. Second, it remain as an urban phenomena. Urban, सुना सुना से लग रहा है वर्ड. गुड. तो ये अर्बन जो है, अर्बन में यानी शहरी. Means the impact of socio-religious reform movements is up to urban area. That means villages are not affected by it. Why it is so? Yes, everyone, as we have mentioned, it is an urban phenomenon and villages are highly unaffected because of it. But how? Why? Yes, I ask you very simple question. How you can consider this movement is restricted to urban areas, or how the villages unaffected because of this, and why villages were unaffected because of this movement? Yes, everyone. अरे बताइए, क्या लगता है आपको कि ऐसा क्या हुआ कि जिस वजह से ये जो रिफॉर्म मूवमेंट थी ये सिर्फ शहरों तक ही सीमित थी, गांव देहात में इसका प्रभाव नहीं हुआ? यस बॉयज एंड गर्ल्स, वेक अप वेक अप। अरे भाई, जागो मोहन प्यारे जागो। एंड जेंडर इक्वालिटी इज देयर, हैशटैग जागो मोहिनी एज वेल। यस, बताओ कि ऐसा क्या हो गया था कि जिसकी वजह से ये गांव तक फैले नहीं? Yes, exactly. The most important thing, lack of education. Lack of education is the most important thing. Second, presence of orthodoxy. Third important thing, third important thing, that is the ideas presented in, oh, I don't have space. I'm going to do. Okay. Next, ideas presented by these reformers in newspapers only. It is not the movement that people, these reformers are going home and home, village after village, and they are going to propagate. It is not. And you know what? When they presented the idea from newspaper only, most of the people were uneducated. आप अखबार में कुछ भी लिखो, पढ़ने वाला तो होना चाहिए ना। यदि पढ़ने वाला ही नहीं है, साक्षरता ही नहीं है, तो कौन पढ़ेगा उसे? Whatever the best idea is there, but if you this idea are not going to convey to the common masses, then how they are going to affect, how they are going to influence? That's why it remains the urban phenomenon, because in urban places people are educated one, and the only educated and elite section influenced by this idea. And one more important factor, that is worst means of communication. Yes, everyone, that is also the factor responsible for it. It's okay, the people are uneducated, but these urban middle class or intelligentsia, they can propagate their message, but the communication problem is also there. As at that time WhatsApp was not there. Yes, at that time there were no highways, freeways till villages were present. So communication, transportation is also the problem, and that's why this remains as an urban phenomenon. Yes, boys and girls, is that clear? Yes, Anuja, exactly. Yes, Anuja, PK, and Rudra, very good. You mentioned the right thing exactly. Now you are on the right track. तो भाई साहब और देवी जी, आप जो थे ये पहले भी तो बता सकते थे. ज्ञान बांटने से बढ़ता है. Remember one thing. If you are going to propagate the ideas, ideas are going to spread. So please give, present your ideas. I'm the person who is always ready to accept it. Clear? Point is clear to you? अगला पॉइंट बताएं. गुड. बता दे. चलो. This gave boost to the orthodoxies and fundamentalism. How? Important. बेहतरीन. बताइए. This gave boost to orthodoxies and fundamentalism. कैसे, यानी क्या? अब राजा राम मोहन राय क्या करना चाहते थे? तो समाज में बदलाव लाने की कोशिश कर रहे थे. उन्होंने जबरदस्ती थोड़ी की है किसी पे. उन्होंने तो सिर्फ सवाल पूछे. उन्होंने सिर्फ सवाल पूछे. तो क्या इन सवालों की वजह से, तो क्या इन सवालों की वजह से कुछ लोग उनके खिलाफ हो जाएंगे? Yes, everyone. What do you think? Whether, as Rajaram Mohan Rai asked some questions, he put question mark on the misconceptions, evil practices present in India at that time. So do you think so that because of asking question, raising the question mark, that gave boost to the orthodoxism and fundamentalism? क्या ऐसा हो सकता है? Yes, is it possible? Of course it is possible. And how it is possible, boys and girls? How it is possible? It is very simple. Nowadays this is very common everywhere. Means आपने ये सुना होगा कि हमारा मजहब खतरे में है, हमारा धर्म खतरे में है. There is no one is in danger. Neither religion is in danger, neither people are in danger. Who are in danger? Those who considered as the, yes, those who considered themselves as a leader of that. Their position, their interests are in danger. So it was the same thing when Rajaram Mohan Rai and other social reformer put question mark. So the orthodoxy and fundamentalism, they raised the banner that their religion, yes, their religion is in danger. सुना सुना सा लग रहा होगा आप लोगों को. है भाई इतिहास. I always mention this thing. In history, name and places changes. Events remains the same. It was the same thing. And very best example I just want to mention you. Radhakant Dev. Radhakant Dev. He started a movement against the movement of Rajaram Mohan Rai. Against the movement of Rajaram Mohan Rai. And why it is so? Because the Rajaram Mohan Rai, they said that sati is an ancient practice. Yes, sati is an ancient practice, and end of the sati is basically encroachment and interference in the Hindu religion. Clear? Encroachment and what we can say, interference in Hindu religion. And they promoted these activities. No, sati should be there and all. So, boys and girls, one question for you. Do you support sati? Yes, do you support sati? Any one of you? Sati was a most horrifying crime against the women in Indian society, and people justified that by killing innocent lady alive, and we supported this idea for long. Clear? So can we justify anything in the name of religion? Remember one thing, do not do that. Do not do that. And if anybody is doing so, stood against it. What do you think? Whether it was very simple for Rajaram Mohan Rai to stood against these practices, whether it was too easy for Ishwar Chandra Vidyasagar to stood against the evil practice, was it so simple for Jyotiba and Savitribai Phule to stood against the evil practice? No, it was not. They faced the challenges and they subdued them. That's why we, all of us, are having freedom in a real sense. So please remember, whenever the people are going to justify any act, and if it is inhuman on the basis of religion, then say no. Now, yes, Rudra, yes, I agree with you. And why it is so? Because business, their business is based on fear only. So that's why they are promoting that. Clear? So why it is so? Because this movement was basically reformist movement, revivalist movement, and were few people who were against this, and these reforms were basically give boost to the orthodoxism and fundamentalism, and Radhakant Dev was one of the best example. Yes, Anuja, yes, exactly. That happened. That happened. That they boycotted these orthodox because they were in majority. These people were in majority, and these social reformers were minority. Simple. Next limitation, and next limitation is fail to leave impact on art, culture, architecture, science, tech, etc. As you know that we mentioned that social reform movements are basically social religious reform movements are Indian Renaissance. But you know, in the worldwide, Renaissance is having deep impact over the art, architecture, science and tech. But in India, we failed to do that. Why it is so? Because of presence of rigidity in our social order was so rigid that the ideas were not able to percolate in immediate manner. Yes, the ideas percolated not in immediate order, and that's why it failed to have impact or limited impact on art, architecture, and science. Clear? Next, the extreme ideas of young Bengal movement. Do you know the man associated with young Bengal movement? Yes, do you know the man, a person, the name of person, and he was very radical in nature and he presented the radical ideas at that time. And it is a factual question basically, so that's why it is related to prelims. Young Bengal movement. Yes, exactly. If you don't know, Dorsey. Yes, Dorsey was a person associated with the Young Bengal movement, and he presented the radical ideas, and basically these radical ideas were turn the people away from these reform movements. Yes, yes, Anuja, exactly. Dorsey was a person who presented the radical ideas, and they are far away from this introduction of reforms in the societies and all. They basically said we do not believe in this structure. That is also one of the limitation. Okay. Next thing. Yes, is that clear? The limitation part is clear to you? Limitation part is limited. Limitation part is clear to you? Is that clear? Lack of mass base, urban phenomena gave boost to the orthodox and fundamentalism. Next, limited impact on art, architecture, science tech, and finally the Dorseys. Dorseys basically were against the, or we can consider the turn away people from this reform movement. They are so radical and they didn't believe in this all. अलग level में चल रहे थे वो लोग. Clear? Yes, everyone. Is that clear to you? Okay, no question, no query, nothing. The next important, major socio-religious reform movements in India. And yes, I'm not going to discuss every aspect of it because these are the factual things and it is available in the books. So which book you are going to refer? Grover. Grover and others. S. Chand publication is very famous book. So you can read this fact from it. But I'm here to discuss some of the aspects of this. For factual thing, please go and read the book. We are not here to spoon feeding. Means we are not here for spoon feeding. We are here to provide you guidance. Clear? So some aspect you have to do by your own. Major socio-religious reform movements. One is of course Brahmo Samaj. So basic factors you know that. Brahmo Samaj. It was established by Rajaram Mohan Rai, Bengal. They advocated the monotheism. Clear? They advocated the monotheism, and later on this Brahmo Samaj divided into two. And yes, Adi Brahmo Samaj, Adi Brahmo Samaj, and Brahmo Samaj of India, and so on. The personalities associated with Brahmo Samaj other than Rajaram Mohan Rai, Dwarkanath Tagore, Dwijendranath, Dwijendranath Tagore, then of course K.C. Sen. Yes, K.C. Sen. Clear? So this Brahmo Samaj is having impact over Bengal and nearby area. Next, Prarthana Samaj. Prarthana Samaj is a version of Brahmo Samaj in Maharashtra. Second most important thing, area, of course, Maharashtra, and person associated with Panduram Tadkar. Yes? Okay. It's very simple. Very simple. Next, Theosophical Society established by, yes everyone, Theosophical Society established by, किन्होंने बनाई? Next I'm going to mention, till that point I'm going to mention health quarter, Adyar. Adyar, it is in near Madras and suburb of Madras, and the idea is basically revival of Hinduism, the practices and all the theory of incarnation and all, it was there. Yes, who established? Yes, who established Theosophical Society in India? Yes, and you know that. You know very well. Yes, everyone, please tell me who established the Theosophical Society? How much time you required? Yes, Colonel Oclot, not Annie Besant. Yes, remember, Annie Besant associated with it, but she was not the founder of it. She was not the founder of it. Yes, there were. Yes, Abhay Krishna. After a long time, you joined. Good. There were two people from USA. Two people from USA, and they started Theosophical Society. And please remember, most of the time, yes. Arjun Matthew, yes, exactly. Madam Blavatsky and Colonel Olcott. Blavatsky and Olcott. These were the two persons. Do not make this mistake that Annie Besant is a founder of it. No, Annie Besant gradually associated with it. Yes, everyone. So this is the all aspect related to Theosophical Society, and you can find out. Next, Ramakrishna Mission area, of course, Bengal, initially established at Bengal. Belur Mutt is very famous. Those who are Bengali, they knew it very well. Bengal, Belur Mutt. This is having impact all over India. Yes, Ramakrishna Mutt is always means in every city Ramakrishna Mutt is there in India. So you should know who established that. Yes, of course, Vivekanand. You know Donald Trump? Yes. How he used to pronounce? Good. Vivekananda is associated with Vivekanand is associated with it. Along with that, whether it is a political movement or whether it is a religious reform movement. Yes, it is a religious reform movement. Clear? Next, Arya Samaj. Arya Samaj. It started in Mumbai, then in Punjab, and finally they settled in Punjab area. Arya Samaj. Who established Arya Samaj? What was the aim of Arya Samaj? Founder. Do you know the name of the founder of Arya Samaj? Yes, Abhay. That is not important. Yes, that is not important at all. For us, we just know what that organization is, what that organization is doing, and who were associated with that. Abhay said Saraswati. Who that means exactly? I'm really interested to know the name of the person who is considered as a founder of, yes, Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Yes, of course, Swami Dayanand Saraswati. Yes, this is the aim. Aim is basically to remove the evil practices in Hinduism. Yes, have you ever came to know one school named DAV schools? क्या कभी आपने ये नाम सुना है DAV? DAV, very famous. Yes, it is very famous. Even the Bhagat Singh studied in DAV. Yes, have you ever heard about DAV school? Yes, yes, yes. PK and Abhay, exactly. Basically, they denied the all other books and they believed in the Vedas and all. Yes, Nilesh, exactly. Dayanand Anglo-Vedic School. This DAV is very famous and it is a part of this movement only, Arya Samaj movement. So you should know the important aspect is related to it. Good. Yes, very good. So they focused the emphasis on Vedas. They rejected the all other script like Puranas and all. उन्होंने सबको खारिज कर दिया. So basically all these movements were basically related to removal of social evils which were present in Indian society and basically in Hindu religion. Clear? Yes, everyone. Is that clear? Good. Next question is there for you, and it is related to the caste movement in India. Why the caste movements mainly emerged in Maharashtra and South India? A very simple question. Why caste movements were mainly emerged in Maharashtra and South India? What do you think? क्या लगता है आपको? First of all, is it true? Means before discussing this question, my first point, is it true? And if yes, then why? Why caste movements were mainly emerged in Maharashtra and South India? Is it true? If yes, then why? Answer. Yes, everyone. Answer it. I'm waiting for your answer. I'm waiting for your reply. क्या लगता है आप लोगों को बताइए हमें. Why caste movements were mainly emerged in Maharashtra and South? So do you agree with it? If you agree, then why it was there in Maharashtra and South India? Or whether these caste movements are still visible in Maharashtra and South India? No response. Yes, Abhay said major cause is that leaders who were educated like Jyotiba Phule is discriminated by some of the people. Then he started the movement. Abhay, it is like a revenge story. Yes, it is like revenge story that Mahatma Phule was insulted by someone and Mahatma Phule said that iska badla to leke rahe. Next, VK said yes, because there existed people mainly of different caste. That means in North India, people of one particular caste is present. Is that the case? हाँ भाई साहब कुछ भी बताओगे. Yes, these movements are still visible in India and South, means in Maharashtra and South India. चलो भाई आपको स्टोरी बता देते हैं. Yes, I'm going to tell you the story. You know, in India, the society was divided into four varnas, varna-based divide: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra. So this division of society was present, and this division is based on birth. This division is based on birth. Later on, during the Gupta time, there is known as concept proliferation of caste, as every caste is having different, means every varna is getting divided into caste. So this happened, and it is as it is based on birth, so the varna gets converted into caste and it is attached to it. So this is very common phenomena present in North India. Yes, though as I mentioned, the division of varna society was there, and among the varnas castes were divided, but still the phenomena of varna, upper layer brahmana considered as a superior, all the castes considered themselves superior, kshatriya was different, and all clear. So basically is a vertical base division of society. Clear. What happened in Maharashtra and South India particularly, and Bengal also? Here there is a twofold division of society. Here it is a fourfold division of society. Here only twofold division of society. Brahmin and rest. Rest considered as a Shudra. Brahmin and rest. These rest, Brahmins considered them as a Shudra. So this thing is basically in South India and Maharashtra in particularly. South India and Maharashtra and Bengal also. In Bengal, Maharashtra and South India, twofold Varna society was there. As you know the story of Agastya. Agastya migrated from North India and he settled in South India. Sanskritanization of South India during the Pallavas time. So this story is related to this aspect, division of society into two. That Brahmins, they considered themselves superior, and whatever the indigenous people were there, they considered them as inferior. So whatever the caste dominant ruling family, so ruling family, peasant or beggar, they all considered in the one go. So there was so much dissatisfaction among these people, and Brahmins were few in number. They are in majority, but still the dominance of Brahmin over the society was there. So what's the basic problem? Twofold society was there. And as the twofold society was there, a direct discrimination and oppression from one particular community to other. What happened in this case? Yes, in this case of fourfold Varna society, here the exploitation of Brahmin, means Brahmin exploited Kshatriya, Kshatriya exploited Vaishya, Vaishya exploited Shudra. So basically, there is no direct impact in the society. Shock absorber. These Kshatriya and Vaishya acted as a shock absorber there. But here it was not the case. Here a direct one particular caste dominating all other, including the ruling group. So there was a huge discontent among them for a long time. And when this socio-religious reform movement providing education, Western education, and these people, yes, those people from the other fold of the society started getting education, they put question mark on the supremacy of Brahmins. and they considered that they are foreigner. We are indigenous. They rule us, they exploit us, and that's why the reaction was very harsh in this area. Yes, everyone, is that clear? Is that clear to you? Why the reaction was there from Maharashtra and South India? Most important problem, twofold society, direct oppression was there, and due to the new ideas and basically Western education, these class were put question mark on the supremacy of Brahmin, and they also started believing one thing, and that is they are exploited by Brahmins, and that's why a natural reaction in the form of their nationalism, and in South India it is very popularly known as Dravidism. Yes, is that clear? Okay. Next thing, and whatever the reaction from the leaders like uh, Jyotiba Phule, Narayan Guru, and other, it is basically the expression of this aspiration of the masses. Next, why caste movements were mainly emerged in Maharashtra and South India, posting unequal hierarchical order. Unequal, as it was not equal, it was a dominance of one particular caste over other. That is, second, strict rules for pollution and purity. छुआछूत जिसे कहते हैं, strict rule. And you know one more important aspect, that in South India and Maharashtra the condition was so severe related to this religious pollution and purity. It is there in North as well. I am not excluding North. It is there, but here it was a reach to the level of madness. Means I can't explain few things, few facts in normal word, but still I'm trying to express myself in normal word, that in Maharashtra and in South India, it is the case that untouchables cannot enter into village or city without informing. And when they entered into that particular village or area, they have to beat drums so that other elite people cannot see them. If they can see, then they consider themselves as a, what we can say, they became impure, and for pursuing your purity they have to take a bath again. Even by seeing untouchable, even they considered the eyes are getting impure. यानी क्या कहते हैं उसे? I can't express, because it is a useless practice followed by Indian for a long time, and even they cannot wear the clothes. Such type of condition was there. And in South India, a very famous story, all of you knew about it. I think in Kerala it is very famous. Nangli, if I'm not wrong, the name of that lady who opposes us, means there was a tradition that women cannot cover their upper body. If women has to cover the upper body, then they have to pay tax. Don't you think it is a madness? And one lady opposes that tax, and she died by resisting that. Clear? So these strict rules for pollution and purity was present in their unequal hierarchical order, as I mentioned, the division, twofold division of the society. Next, another important aspect, that is rich peasant class dominate the agriculture production. Means one sahukar is there or zamindar is there, that person is having control over it, and rest are totally dependent on them. And this thing continued for centuries. Next, Brahmins. Brahmins dominated the government jobs initially, Pre-British rule, Brahmins dominate the socio-cultural life. Even the religious life was one of the part. They dominate everything. But after the end of native state, as revolt of 1857 was there, and they lost their patronage, and now they shifted towards government job, and all Brahmins are having government job, and this creates a huge discontent among the commoners. As you considered yourself in superior in religious field, in social field, and now you are taking government jobs, you are taking the opportunity. You were the people who were responsible for keeping us away from education. So this is the anger for long. This was present in this area for a long time, but with the provision of education, educational elites, that is intelligentsia, started reacting against it, and that's why we mention growth of reactionaries because of the Western education consciousness movement in South India. Yes, is that clear to you? Yes, boys and girls, is that clear to you? That why caste movement were mainly emerged in Maharashtra and South India? Reason is very clear. Unequal hierarchical order was there, basically twofold division of society, strict rules of pollution, purity, rich peasant dominate the agriculture production, Brahmins dominate the government jobs, and there was a growth of reactionaries by Western education, and the representative example is Jyotiba Phule and Dravidian consciousness, that is Dravidian movement in South India. Next, the important caste movement which are important from prelims point of view, basically Satya Samaj is one of them. Satya Samaj established by Mahatma Phule. This Samaj is basically open for all. It is not the case that it is against Brahmin. Yes, this society, this Samaj is open for all, and the aim of this Samaj is removal of the obstacles or removal of evil practices from the society. So Jyotiba Phule is one of the most important person attached to it. Along with that, Satya Samaj also had an important contribution in education, and yes, you girls, boys, including me, are very much what we can say uh, means we have to thankful to these people. Why? Because they were the first Indian who started initiated introduction of education and providing education to all including women. Next, self respect movement. It is in Tamil Nadu by EV Swami Nekir. EV Nekir is the person, and this movement was basically movement for lower caste. This movement was basically against Brahmanism. Justice Party, in the Justice Party, basically this is basically against Brahminical dominance. And here the Justice Party, the elites, this is the party of elites, the rich non-Brahmins versus Brahmin. It was that conflict, and this is also important, that is Sri Narayan Dharma Guru. Narayan Dharma Yogam, SNDP. Sri Narayan Guru is related with that. Self-respect movement is basically you have to respect yourself, you have to end the practices. So these are the factual things you can read from the books. But my aspect is very important. Limitation of caste movement. What do you think? What were the limitation of the caste movement in India and particularly in South India? First, it was a reactionary tinge and undemocratic in nature. Undemocratic in fervor, not nature, sorry. Undemocratic in fervor. A radical reaction is there. Second, elements of progressivism is absent. Elements of progressivism is absent. What most of these things were basically anti-Brahmin only. Means they do not want to establish the society based on equality. They just opposes this because the Brahmin dominate them for a long time. So lack of progressive ideas were there in this movement. And initially this movement started as the movement for end of social evil, but later on it emerged as a conflict between Brahmins versus non-Brahmins. It happened with the Satya Samaj as well. In Satya Samaj, it was against the social evil practice, but later on it became the part of the same, that is Brahmins versus non-Brahmins. Next, some movements were having very narrow social base. Narrow social base means generally the elite non-Brahmins were part of it, and most of these means some of the movements negated the lower caste and untouchables. Yes, everyone, this is another important aspect. Narrow social base, elite non-Brahmins were part of it. What about the lower strata, oppressed strata? No, it is not the case. Clear? Next important thing we have mentioned that it remains the elite conflict, and very best example is Justice Party. Remains elite conflict, very example Justice Party. And the last thing, yes, last thing, failed to incorporate untouchable and oppressed class. They failed to, because if you have a problem with the Brahmins, if you have a problem with that particular caste which dominate you for thousands of centuries, it is not just with you. There are other fellows with you, other caste there with you. But what happened? These elite class kept the oppressed and untouchables away from their movement. So basically it was, means there are very few movements were like having this character, but these movements are not there to end the evil practices, caste system. These movements are basically to end the dominance of Brahmin over the society. That's their reaction. So first reaction, it is a reactionary in tinge and undemocratic fervor. Second, elements of progressivism is absent. Next, some movements has a narrow social base. It is base restricted to the elites and failed to incorporate untouchables and oppressed class. Yes, everyone, is that clear to you? Is that clear to you? Any question, any query, any doubt? Yes, is there any question, any doubt, any question, query? If it is, then please ask me. I'm here. It is related to this, or if it is related to the previous lecture, then please ask me. Yes, boys and girls, do you have any question? Okay. So this is the section which is important from prelims as well as means point of view, and most of us negated this section. So it should not be the case. Please focus on this thing. In prelims, one or two questions from it, and in mains examination definitely one question they are going to ask. Yes. So I hope I clarify all your doubts and queries. Yes, and yes, remember one more thing, important thing. Yes, Unacademy Combat is there on Feb 7, 2021. Yes, Feb 7, 2021, 11 a.m. Format is clear. 45 minutes, 60 questions, 13 combats, and prizes are also there. So next Sunday, please be there. Yes, and the last thing, last but not least, If you like the lecture, please like it. Just one like is important. Like the lecture, share it, subscribe to Unacademy. And yes, if you haven't subscribed to Unacademy, please subscribe because your subscription is important for us. Without your subscription, it is not possible for us to present this video. So, when you are going to subscribe, please use my code. Harshv10 is my code. You will get the discount, 10% discount at the same time. If you are having any question, any query related to your preparation or anything, you can ask anything. Anything, the word is anything. You can share with me through my Telegram channel at unacademy_Harshv10, or you can connect with me through other social media platform as well. And the last but not least, if you really like the way of teaching, then please dedicate the hats which is available with you and follow me on Unacademy app as well. And yes, today most probably we will have a special class on economy, and in that we are going to discuss the effects of inflation. So for further details, please wait for some time. I will update the information on my Telegram channel. That's all for now. Thank you very much for your valuable time. Have a good day, great day, and enjoy your Sunday.